these ideas and great
Good
things.
morning. I said good morning. How you doing this morning? How you doing? How you doing this morning? How you doing? What's going on, everybody? It's your man, Khalif Wins. How's everybody doing this morning? Welcome to the Morning Motivation Show. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your man, Khalif Wins. Welcome to the Morning Motivation Show, a show that's a quick pick-me-up in the morning to get your mind right before you go to work and before you tackle your day. I am your host, Khalif Wins, live from New York City, live with my beautiful Morning Motivation Snuggie on, you heard? How's everybody been? How'd you like the show yesterday? Listen, my show is Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, worldwide. This is my show. I love that you're here. If you're here, please put your love in the comments. Tell me where you at, where you from, and what's your motivation for today. I'm glad to be here. Why am I glad to be here? Because it's a lot of people who ain't make it out for real. And again, let's not get all negative Nelly-ish over here, but I'm saying, think about it. This time last year, who's not in your life? Again, this is not a morbid show. I'm just saying, think about it. What do you want to tackle this week? What do you want to tackle in general? Again, my show is not the morning You're Perfect show, because all of us is imperfect and all of us are screwed up. My show is the Morning Motivation Show. What can we do to get better in our mindset, to get better in our lives through our imperfection? I just want to say thank you, everybody who sent me love in the comments throughout my show yesterday. Yesterday's show was a blast, but today's show is literally about consistency. Real talk. It's about consistency. It's a question. What's up, Big Melly, the specialist? Everybody give it up for Melly in the comments. Thank you so much, brother. The brother encouraged me. Follow Melly, the specialist, on everywhere. He's got a show launching. That's what I'm saying. My brother gives me great encouragement for things that I'm doing in my life. You need people like that around. Today's show is about how can I be consistent. Why did this show title come about? You know, as for me, when it comes to my Morning Motivation Show, I write shows and design shows based around what I'm going through and a lot of things that I see my friends going through so that we can find solutions. A lot of people, you know, just want to get on the internet and they just want to talk. They hear themselves talk. Listen, I don't want to hear myself talk. If it ain't about a solution, then I ain't trying to hear. You know what I'm saying? But today's show is about consistency. If you struggle with consistency, if you're going through things with consistency, please literally watch this.
And I have so much energy at the start and I'll be the first one to get the ball rolling, but I just won't follow through. Make the goal just to show up. Like, you don't have to be amazing, you don't have to be great, just show up. Just stop aiming for perfection and aim for progress. Number 2, stop comparing yourself to other people. That guy in the gym, he's been training since he was 5. This guy's on day 5,000. You're on day 2.5. Like, there is no point in comparing him, who's a completely different individual to you, different circumstances, different background. It makes no sense. It's like comparing apples and tangerines. Tip number 3, and this is one that has always worked for me. I don't know why, but I am far less likely to let someone else down than I am to let myself down. Find someone if you can. Maybe it's a partner, maybe it's an accountability buddy, but someone that will hold you responsible for doing the thing that you said you were going to do. Even imagine this. Imagine a camera was following you around for 24 hours in a day. Imagine how differently you would act, because you wouldn't want people to think you aren't the person that you say you are, that you don't keep your word, and you don't keep your word to yourself.
You can define for yourself what consistency looks like. It doesn't need to be every day. It doesn't need to be every other day. Consistency for you in the beginning can be once a week. Once you've defined what consistency looks like for you, I want you to commit to it. Commit to it for a month, commit to it for 2 months, whatever. Once that has become a habit and you've done that for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever, it's time to redefine. Redefine what consistency looks like. So in the beginning, if you chose for consistency to be once a week, maybe change it to twice a week or 3 times a week. Redefine it. What you'll realize is you'll bounce between committing and redefining, and that's basically how you become consistent.
We don't stay consistent because we have anxiety over not being able to stay consistent. So literally what is stopping us from being consistent is the fact that we fear a future of not being consistent.
You stay consistent in bettering your life by realizing what your why is. Why do you do it? Why are you really doing this? Why am I on this hunt to figure out who I am? By you answering that question, this will be the fuel on your journey to determine whether or not you will stay disciplined to continue to better understand yourself. So no matter how hard it gets, no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how painful it is, when I start to peel back the layers of the traumas in my life, I have to remind myself why I'm doing it. And this is it. So making sure you know why you are doing something will determine how disciplined you'll be.
And that's what today's show is about consistency. But just as we always start off when it comes to the show, hey, it's your quick pick me up. Yo, it's your quick pick me up, y'all. Welcome to the Morning Motivation Show. I am your man, Khalif Wins. Welcome to your quick pick me up in the morning. You heard? Let's go. Let's start it off with our quick pick me up of the days. Let's go. Like we do. Letting people lose you instead of trying to convince them of your worth hits very, very different. Don't beg, don't chase, don't be needy. Relax. When you relax, it'll come to you. It's okay to disappear until you feel like yourself again. That's a fact. If it makes you happy, then it's not a waste of time. I repeat, if it makes you happy, then it's not a waste of your time. You heard? Nobody who ever gave their best regretted it. Whoa, that's a fact. Nobody who ever gave their best regretted it. Let's go. Don't let what other people think decide who you are. Woo! If you don't love yourself, you'll be stuck chasing people who won't love you either. And that's a fact above all facts. Apply for that job. Date that person. Buy that plane ticket. Move to that city. Do all the things that scare you because they're worth it. That's a fact. If you are not doing what you love, you are wasting your time. That's a fact. The fears we don't face become our limits. Preach. You know what I'm saying? When you discover your self-worth, you lose interest in anybody who doesn't see it. That's a fact. Make yourself a priority because at the end of the day, you're your longest commitment. That's a fact. Be a good person, but don't waste time to prove it. Oh my God, if that's a fact. Today is my day no matter what. I won't let any hater in my office get me down. I won't let nobody in my life get me down. I won't let nobody in my life stress me out. I decide today to have a great day. I don't think that you heard me, for real. Say this to yourself, repeat after me. Today is my day no matter what. I won't let any hater in my office get me down. I won't any hater in my household get me down. I won't let any hater that texts me get me down. I won't let me stress myself tonight. You heard? Real talk. I decide to have a great day today. Now that was the quick pick me up of the Morning Motivation Show. If you're just joining in, welcome to the Morning Motivation Show, your quick pick me up in the morning. I am your host, Khalif Wins, streaming live Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, 8 a.m. Eastern time on YouTube, Facebook, all worldwide. If you know somebody that needs this encouragement in the morning, for sure, subscribe to my YouTube channel and let's get that popping. But in the meantime, today's show is literally about why am I not consistent like I want to be. There's a reason I wrote this show because I'm literally talking to myself. And I like to be consistent in particular areas. If you like to be consistent, tell me what you like to be consistent with in your comments. You saw the videos before. It's not just us. The video I wrote, a lot of us feel like, why are we not consistent? Why are we not getting what we want to get out of life? What is it that we're not doing? And that's literally the question I hit myself with last night as I'm thinking. I'm like, why am I not consistent in these particular areas where I'm consistent in these other areas? And I just went to do some digging. And that's what today's show is about. Why are we not consistent and how to get consistent? And I really, really want to discuss that. But before we get to the show topic, let me tell you, I don't know about you, but the biggest lesson that I've learned within the past 2 weeks, and it's a hurtful lesson. Nothing's crazy when you go through something I call an annoying fact that's healthy for you. Here's an annoying fact that is really helpful for you, but it's annoying. Number one, even though it's beneficial, nothing feels worse than when you're on the phone with somebody every day and you think that you have a bond and all that stuff. But as soon as you set up that boundary, they don't call you. They don't even want to talk or anything like that. What am I talking about? The biggest lesson that I had to learn in the past week is that it sucks. People that you think that's super cool with you are not super cool with you. It's sad, but it's an annoying fact that's healthy for us. If somebody doesn't call you back out of nowhere, ain't nobody too busy to give a text. Text is a 30 seconds. You can text. If we all live on our phone, as we all do, and we are always on our phone, if somebody can't respond to your text, don't feel tight. Take that energy and roll with that energy. I don't care how much your heart desires that relationship. Again, I don't care if your heart desires that friendship. A text only takes a WYD 3-second post. What you doing? How you doing? Just want to see how great your day is type of response. It's funny. The topic of today is consistency, and I'm going to break off into that topic, and I really do want to break off in that topic. But literally, that was the biggest lesson I learned within the past 2 weeks. It was like, wow, yo, you mean to tell me I set up one little boundary and then we not friends anymore? You know what I'm saying? And no call, no nothing. That shows that they was using you. Real talk. This is not what the show about, but again, since the title of the show is consistency, it sucks that we don't see the same consistency out of people that we call friends in our life. Listen. Can I get a real talk amen on that? Let's just get to the show. I just want to say that's something I dealt with. If you dealt with that before, put it in the comments. Hey, tell me where you're from. Tell me your motivation of the week right now. Let's break into ways that I've researched within myself to be consistent. In a lot of ways that I researched when I was writing this out, I was writing it. I was like, yo, bro, this sounds simple. This sounds, this and that. This sounds simple. But I was like, okay, just because I think something sounds simple doesn't mean that I shouldn't revisit simplicity so I can get to a place of mastery to be consistent in what I want to do. And that's the thing. We got to stop beating up on our mind and ourselves. Just take the simple route, because simple steps become long strides. So real talk, let's break into this lesson right now. Is literally about consistency. Let's go. Number one, how to be consistent. We have to define our goals and clearly define them, write them down, break them into smaller, achievable milestones. Now, a lot of people are like, hold on. Like, bro, this is ridiculous. No, it's not. Think about it. What is that you're trying to achieve? I don't care if you want to be a big DJ. And by the way, I got an interview dropping soon from DJ Broadway on how to be a celebrity DJ. That'll be on my YouTube channel about later next week. But I have a video dropping with a celebrity DJ. He breaks that down. And when we were discussing in the time during that show, he was talking about how to be a celebrity DJ. That literally, he provided a roadmap of consistency, and I believe that he has a course dropping soon. But think about it, whether you want to be a celebrity DJ, whether you want to be a chef, whether you want to make enough money so you can quit your miserable job. I know what that feels like. Whether you want to literally say to yourself, yo, I just want to quit this horrible job and I really want to make this amount of money monthly and make this amount of money annually. We have to be consistent. Whatever we want to do, we have to be consistent. And this is literally the step one that I had to boot to myself. I'm like, yeah, I've heard this before, but am I implementing this? Real talk. Number one is define your goals, clearly writing them out and write them down, break them into small, achievable milestones. Look at the homie Infinite Talks. That's true. Roadmaps. That took the words right out of my mouth. Everybody go subscribe to the subscribe and follow to the Infinite Talks podcast with Eric Castillo on Spotify. I was a guest in the show. Such a vibe. Thank you, E. Thank you so much, and I appreciate it. And like he said, it's like I had to say to myself, great, you got a morning motivation show. Great. You're producing 4 other shows to your YouTube channel. Great. You're a content strategist. This is me talking to myself. Great. I want to do these things, before my son is born, in the next about month and a half. I want to knock all these things out. But how can I be consistent? Literally, I had to write them down. Okay, what do I want to achieve in 7 to 8 weeks? Great. How do I break them down into small, achievable milestones by being realistic? Great, because I don't know about y'all, but when I see stuff on paper, it becomes clearer and less unrealistic. And then sometimes when we write things down, we see, bro, we're reacting too much. We dragging it. We doing a little bit too much. Yeah, yes, we want to achieve higher heights, but you can't condense a whole bunch of goals in a short amount of time. You got to break them down. Like the saying goes, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's it. So in step one in how to be consistent, we have to define what we're going after, clearly define these goals, write them down, break them into smaller achievable milestones, and create that roadmap. Because once you see it on paper, then you can just run with it and go with it. Because a lot of times I didn't go with things in my life. I had them in my brain. I pictured them, but I never had a plan. And I used to always say to myself, yeah, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I was like, yo, shut up, Khalif. But I was like, yo, seriously, if I didn't write them down and I didn't see them on a piece of paper and check them off every day, check them off every week, it was useless. Next area on how to be consistent, you know what I'm saying? Remember this, consistency is more important than perfection. And there's these stop breaks with this lesson I wrote up. Literally, consistency is more important than perfection. And the reason I put this there, oh my God, if we don't beat up ourselves on a regular basis, we're trying to be super duper perfect. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? Why do we always try to be perfect? And that's the thing. Consistency is more important than being perfect at all. And again, you know, what does the brother say in the comments? Infinite Talk says, I need to do all that you're talking about. Brother, and me too. I literally wrote this out because I was saying to myself, oh my God, I'm trying to knock out these goals. I have a lot of things in your mind. And for anybody else that's watching this that may suffer from ADHD, you know, we deal with this. We get an overabundance of thought. God blesses us with a whole bunch of ideas. And it feels like trying to overstuff a laundry bag. That's how my mindset feels. And then we get into that, oh, it's got to be like this. It's got to be like that. It's got to be perfect. And that's the thing. Consistency is more important than perfection. Before we move on to slides, I want to most definitely give a shout out to everybody in the comments right quick. Infinite Talks, I have a great job, but I know I have so much more talent and so much income potential, earning potential. That is a fact. Yes, you do, brother. Been on your show. You for sure do. We can talk about content strategy later, but yes, you do. Everybody go subscribe and follow to Infinite Talks podcast on Spotify. Next comment, DPD Collection. Yeah, what's good? Everybody, the hat that I'm wearing, go to DPD Collection. Just look it up on Facebook, DPD Collection. Look it up on TikTok, DPD Collection. It's the vibe, straight out of Chicago, Illinois. Thank you, brother, for being part of this show. Now getting to the slide. Next slide on how to be more consistent. And again, when I wrote this up and I'm thinking about what I want to achieve, a lot of it became simple, but I was like, yo, I had to get back to simplicity because my imperfection was trying to beat me in my head with an unrealistic expectation. The next slide is, develop a plan of action, specific steps that you're going to take, write down deadlines for each steps, and hold yourself accountable. Literally, I said to myself, I need to learn something by being talked to like a 5-year-old child. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever felt that way? Because our mind is so complicated and we got to do a whole bunch of complex things in life. For me, I need things broken down like, you know, the For Dummies version. I need like a very first grade explanation on things so I can realign myself. And a lot of times, in order to realign, we got to make it simple to realign. You know what I'm saying? In order to realign, we have to make it simple. And that's why step 2 is develop a plan of action. This is something I'm noticing with myself. Let's take the Morning Motivation Show. This idea was brewing in my mind for 2 years. I talked about this in my show yesterday. And during those 2 years, I was like, yo, I'm going to buy this. 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 Boom, that's all you need. But then after buying a whole bunch of stuff and the implementation phase came, I became overwhelmed. Nah, you got to do it like this. Nah, your background got to look like this. Nah, and I'm like, stop it. Stop it. Stop beating up on yourself. Don't nobody know what perfection is but God. That's a fact. And I literally thought about the process, even creating the shows and the other shows that I'm doing. Big shout out. Making Better Tracks is on my YouTube channel. Subscribe now. We got an episode dropping today at 11 o'clock. For those who watch this video, like, you can just go to my live section of my YouTube. Making Better Tracks, a show for producers, strictly for producers and artists talking about tech gear, so on and so forth. That's another show that I'm content producing along with this show. But before those shows came about, I had to write down, what is my plan of action? What is my purpose in doing these shows? Is it some sort of fluke? Is it cloudy? Am I trying to do this with some sort of weird temporary metric? Why do I want to do what I want to do? Like the young man said earlier in the video that I played earlier, what's your why? And in my plan of action, this is how I did it. I want to do a Morning Motivation Show. And I put next to it, why? Like, why? Why? Because I want to encourage people that may be going through things. A lot of us, we all deal with, like, some people call it demons. Some people call it, you know, like other things that are clinically, you know, assigned to it. Is like depression, we go through like some sort of weird low-level thoughts, a lot of people in the morning. So I want to create an environment where the morning is more of a positive action so people can check in. That's my why as to this show. When it comes to my Making Better Track shows, why? Put it down. I developed a plan of action. What is this and what's the why? Then put the reason why for that. Now, when it came to specific steps I'm going to take, everything in the beginning sucks. Here's a lesson for the day. If you don't realize it, if you never heard it, I'm going to be the first to tell you. Every time you start something, you are gonna suck. I repeat, anytime you start something or try to be consistent, you're gonna suck. That's a fact. Why are we trying to act like we got to have all of our stuff together? This whole show, the whole show came about when you go on my YouTube channel and scroll down. We on episode 15 with this show. You go to the first episode, it look a mess. I had co-hosts. That wasn't the right lane for me. No shot at them, but it wasn't the right format. But I had to just make official steps. And sometimes a lot of the specific steps we take, they will fail. But failure, like I said on Eric Castillo's Infinite Talks podcast, I said before, we have to embrace and love the process of just failing forward and just like, yo, I'm going to try this. I'm going to create specific steps that I'm going to take. I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to do what I want to do. Whether you want to be a producer, whether you want to be a small business owner, whether you want to be a clothing designer, hell, whether you want to be a better parent. Can we talk about it? Real talk. Literally, when I had my first child, I had to develop a plan of action on how to be a parent because I had a mother who worked 2.5 jobs. She did the best that she can do, wasn't home as much. I never had a father at all. So when I became a father, literally, I had to develop a plan of action on how to be a father. Didn't know that. And now that I'm about to have a son in 7 weeks, just imagine that. I'm currently talking with people, talking with other men, talking with other parents. Yo, how is it to raise a son? Because I never have that type of experience. Hold on a second. DPD collection, preach Puerto Rican black man. Hey, you heard? It's true. I'm talking to DPD collection, that fashion brand owner, literally because he's a father of a son. Again, I took specific steps to develop in this plan of action, especially being a first-time father to a son, brand new ball game. Then I'm writing deadlines for each step, and I'm holding myself accountable. Now, here's the thing. You'll see this in the slides that I written down. My way to hold myself accountable with my deadlines, I tell people who are actively going for goals to keep me accountable. That's the key. You know what? You read places, oh my God, if you have a dream, tell your friends so they can hold you accountable. Nah, you can't tell everybody because everybody got lazy friends. Everybody got friends who are not as consistent as you'd like to be. Find your friends that are really, really consistent or your networking partners that are really, really, really consistent at a high level. Tell them your goal and say, hey, I need an accountability partner. Let's do this. And if they are consistent, and everybody knows in their gut who's consistent in life, who's not. They're going to check in with you every week. How's you going with your goals? Did you knock out A, B, C, D, E? They'll help you in your plan of action because they're doing what you're actively trying to do. And that's the cheat code. Anything I'm trying to do well, I'm around people that are way better than me. I'm on the phone with 2 type of content creators literally 3 times a day, every day throughout the week. Content creators where we're at the same level of success, which is most of us, because unless we're making $1 million in our bank account, ain't nobody better than each other. And then content strategists, media managers, and marketing people who know way more than I ever would know because iron sharpens iron. That's part of my holding myself accountable to my plan of action. So let me recap. When you have those bigger goals, develop your plan of action, have specific steps that you're going to take daily and weekly, write down deadlines for each step, and hold yourself accountable while having an accountability team. Now, let's get to this thought process. I read this somewhere. It says, I accumulated small, consistent habits that ultimately led to results that were unimaginable when I started. Why is this important? Again, this sounds super simple. Oh, I read that somewhere, yeah, whatever. But the things that we say whatever to is the things that we should revisit. And like I was compiling this, and the last night I was like, yo, I really need to be consistent in A, B, C, and D. How can I just break it down simple? And I was like, this looks fire. And this is, I accumulated small but consistent habits that ultimately led to results that were unimaginable when I started. There's something I've been thinking about heavy. I said, I'm trying to get consistent in this area and this area of my life, but then what areas am I real consistent in? And that's a lot of the things that dealing with perfectionists with, ADHD, like myself, we go through. We think that if we're not consistent in 2 areas, that we're horrible, even though we're consistent in 4 other areas. A lot of times, I look at the habits and the areas that I am consistent with, and then I use those transitional skills in the areas I'm not consistent with as part of my plan. But I did notice, you notice that if you do something every day, all day, you get better without noticing. It's the same thing with consistency that I'm learning about this in this realm. One thing I know about Khalif Wins, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, morning motivation show. That's my part of the week consistency. But what you don't see on the back end, I have another Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday level of consistency, 6 days a week. Network and talk with content creators, learning from people, doing a ton of editing. I have to do something every day so I can be a beast at it, because as the quote says, I accumulated small but consistent habits that ultimately led to results that were unimaginable when I started. And let's get to the next step of what I'm relearning, reprogramming on how to be consistent. Prioritize your goals, focus on the most important ones, because making progress on your most important objectives, you should be the priority. Again, simple things I have to reprogram or relearn. What are the most important part of the goals that I have right now that I'm trying to be consistent? I'll be transparent. I don't care. I'm going to launch off these shows and do about a certain amount of episodes before my son is born, because if all the parents know, when you have a new child, guess what? Your life is on appropriate lockdown for great reasons. The focus should be your child. Real talk. Do my allotted content before my child is born. And by the way, if you want to bless my baby registry, it's in my link in bio. Please, you want to bless my son in the baby registry, it's in my link in bio. Or hit me on Cash App at $ Khalif Wins on the link in bio. But seriously, I had to prioritize my goal. And I talked to this with my wife. She was like, yeah, I know you're doing your show and stuff like that, but when a baby comes, you can't live stream. That's a fact. And I said, listen, that's already in the plans. What's my priority for the weeks prior? Getting stuff together for the house to prepare for a child, help my wife, before our new child comes, prepping our daughter about, hey, you're going to have a sibling. By the way, this is how life is going to change. That's the most important ones in my life. You have to focus on what is the most important goals in your life, and then how do you prioritize them? My priority scale, which should be other people who have children's priority scale, my family, my children. That's the first thing. That's off the top. So everything has to be arranged by my schedule. But everybody watching this, you have a different priority scale for your schedule. Again, this stuff sounds simple about consistency. The title of today's show is How Can I Be Consistent, or Why Am I Not Consistent? I had to break it down in simple form of the for dummy versions for myself so I can reprogram. And a lot of times we have to reprogram ourselves into what we're trying to do, because one thing I always say to myself, old keys don't open new doors. Old keys don't open new doors. And I have to do this consistent mental or cognitive reconditioning, translation, mental reprogramming to get where I want to go. And guess what? This conversation might not be for everybody. If you've achieved all your goals, fine, God bless you. I have it. If you're super consistent, great. Put it in the comments on tips on how we can be consistent. Great. But if you're not, just like me in particular areas of trying to be consistent, which today's show is about, please follow these simplistic lessons that I put together, because I want us to focus. So in this step is to prioritize your goals, focus on the most important goals, and making progress on the most important objectives weekly. And for me, my prioritization scale is helping my wife through this pregnancy before the birth of our child, setting up the house before my child, telling my daughter and prepping her, getting her part of a mindset lifestyle of having a new baby in the house, and then handle my shows for these certain set amount of times a week, and then have my shows scheduled out for when the baby's born for the first 3 months of his existence, and having that role so everybody can get their morning motivation and do that way, because I have to adjust my life. That's my priority scale. When it comes to your goals, what's your priority scale? Let's look at this and think about this. Trust is built with consistency. I repeat, I saw this and I said to myself, oh my God, this sounds like some just empty motivation. But a lot of times the things that we look over that's real simple, we look over them because we're like, I heard that before. But sometimes we got to just look at things differently. Read that. Trust is built with consistency. Let's talk about it. Relationships. If she's consistent, if she does what she says she does, she's a keeper, right? Trust is built with consistency. If people say to you, yo, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that, and they don't do it, you look at them like they're crazy and you have a lack of trust, right? because they not consistent. When I told people I was doing a morning motivation show Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, 8 a.m. Eastern time on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, so on and so forth, people was like, yeah, that's a great idea, but I've been consistent. So you trust to be here, right? Again, anything in your business, in your life, in your workout plan, in your family, that is the basis. Trust is built with our consistency, but we have to show up every day, and it's going to suck a lot of the days, especially in the beginning, and we're going to screw up. Let's focus on these simple terms. Trust is built with consistency. We have to create a routine that aligns with our goals, specific time towards working our goals, time for rest and relaxation. I'm going to start with the last one, and I'm going to build back up. A lot of times, us perfectionists, us people that are overthinkers, if any overthinkers in the house, make some noise in the comments. Us ADHDers, short attention span folks, we go so hard and we burn ourselves out. Oh, I got to do this, 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 got to do this. No days off, grind mode. No. If you don't schedule time for breaks and rest on your road to whatever you want to get and be consistent at, you're going to burn yourself out. Oh, don't believe me? You really, really, really are doubting me? You don't believe me? You think I'm capping? You think I'm capping? Watch this. If you have your laptop on all day, won't it risk it burning out or breaking or damaging? Huh? If you got your cell phone and just have it going 24/7, ain't you about to replace your cell phone battery? The reason I'm focusing on this area, how to be consistent, you better schedule time for rest and relaxation. I start with that first because a lot of times we got to be like grind mode. No, you know what times you most optimal at. Think about your week and your days. What are the times that you're most optimal, meaning you can knock out mad stuff? For me, obviously, since I do the Morning Motivation Show, you can catch me, for me in my life, I'm most optimal at 5:30 a.m. to about 12 p.m. After 12 p.m., the party done shut down. I'm chilling. So throughout my week of my goals and creating a daily routine and a weekly routine and a monthly assessment routine when it comes to be consistent in my goals, I put in my points of rest. Yo, bro, you ain't doing nothing afternoon. You ain't doing nothing afternoon. And then I pick back up around like 8 and on and just go on. That's my time for rest and relaxation. People are like, oh my God, 12 noon to 8 p.m. You sound lazy. No, I said, what are your most optimal times when you scheduling your rest and your optimal times you scheduling when you go really hard in your goals on a daily basis, when you set a routine that aligns with your goals? Mine's 5:30 a.m. I start super early to about 12 p.m. So what is that? 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, about 8.5 hours. I'm up working when people are sleeping. That's my optimal time of work. You have an optimal time of work. Now, when my son's here, that's going to have to switch up. And when it comes to creating a routine that aligns with our goals to be consistent, we have to consistently adjust, but we have to switch it up. And that's why I'm keeping this very simple for all of us, because I'm going hard right now. Hey, Morning Motivation Show, 8 a.m., Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. My son is here. That's going to adjust, and everybody will be notified. To be properly notified, hit my link in bio and join my email list for sure, so you can be notified of exclusive shows, uncensored shows, and content. If you want to support my content and may help me do more shows like this that benefit you, please hit me up in my link in bio and click support my show, or hit me up on Cash App, $Khalif Wins. But real talk, and the steps on how to be consistent, creating a routine that aligns to your goals, specific times on working towards your goals, and times for rest and relaxation. And what did I say thus far? We got to schedule the times of day that we're most optimal. Mine's is 5:30 a.m., sometimes 4:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. After 12 p.m., it's a lockdown. It's a lockdown mentally for me. But that's me. What's your optimal time of day? Once you schedule your optimal time of day and then schedule your routine, then what's your rest and relaxation point? Like I said just now, we have to schedule rest because we can't go hard and burn out without rest. A laptop need to rest, a cell phone need to rest. Hell, your TV need to rest, your iPhone need to rest, your Android, whatever. If your equipment need to rest, your equipment needs to rest. If your equipment needs to rest, your equipment needs to rest. If your equipment needs to rest, your equipment needs to rest. Big shout out to Civil Days Music. See you at 11 a.m. He says, indeed, the grind time is now. Yes. And in part of being consistent, let's set our routine, focus on our optimal times, but schedule times for rest. Let's get to this next thought process. Don't be too timid and squeamish about your actions. All life is an experiment. Again, this is what I call, this is a simplistic bar. What does that mean? A lot of times we look over truths like this, but then we don't dig into it. Let's dig into this for a second, and this is how it helps you be consistent. It says, don't be too timid and squeamish about your actions. All life is an experiment. The last line is what caught me. A lot of times when we're all perfectionists and we're all just trying to do everything and we just, I got to be this, perfect person, which is false, which is a lie. We have to remember in our growth process, in our consistent process, and whatever goal we're trying to achieve, be a better DJ, be the biggest producer in the world, be the biggest artist, be the business person, be the first millionaire in my family. We have to remember all life is an experiment. We shouldn't have to be scared about the actions we take. We just have to learn from every action. Now, this is Morning Motivation Show, and I'm trying to keep it as PC as possible. Let me use an analogy as clean as possible so people won't think I'm crazy. When we make love to a person, ain't nobody coming out there doing the best loving in the world. Think about it. The first time we made love, quotation marks, you know what I'm saying. Please keep my comment section clean. We weren't the best. If you were, tell me the secret, because the first time it was trash. It was like an uncomfortable workout in my life. But all life is an experiment. We get better by doing more. And the first time we broke our innocence, give me kudos on the very careful language. The first time we broke our innocence, we were trash when we started out. I'm talking about every human on planet Earth started out when they lost their innocence, learning the process, but we kept on doing the repeated actions. I've done that repeated action a little bit too much. I was a thought when I was younger, but that's not the conversation. This quote hit me from Ralph Waldo Emerson really heavy because it taught me the simplicity of stop being so perfect when I'm trying to be consistent. Don't be too timid or squeamish about your actions. All life is an experiment. Catch that. All life is an experiment. Don't be scared of taking action. The thing that helps me, I talked to somebody yesterday on the phone about this. I think it was my homie DC. Big shout to DC Carson Music. Follow him now. Big shout to Civil Days. See you guys at 11. The thing that really helps me to break out of monotony is that I have to take massive action. Massive action in doing something in my planned routine helps me break laziness. And a lot of times, the reason that we're all in a particular place in our life, because I'm at this level right now, but then I have to take massive action in a different place, and I'll talk about that in the later slides, to get to a higher level. I can't do the same thing and expect, different results. But since all life is an experiment, I'm trying everything. I'm trying everything. Like right now, when I do this show, you'll see me looking at the screen, but I'm not looking at the camera. It's imperfection in it, but all life is an experiment. But I'm taking action when I do my show, so I'm getting into practice of looking at the camera instead of looking at the screen. All life is an experiment. Take action. Hold on. DPD, my dude, what you know about Waldo Emerson? You preaching, doc. Hey, this is the day that this ratchet dude quoted a preacher to. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I ain't perfect. But success is success. And if I want to find out how to be consistent, Ralph is dropping bars. So I'm most definitely have to share. So remember, take actions and don't be scared about it. Take action, because action and anytime you make an effort is progress. Last example, since all life is an experiment, and I said this on many shows, when I learned how to talk to the opposite sex, right? Women, I always started with an unrealistic bar of the most attractive women in the world. Why? Because I said, if I screw up repeatedly, right? If I just get shut down and rejected every day, my actions will help me learn and process more data so I can be better. So remember, when it comes to being consistent, take consistent action on a daily basis. And again, as you hear me talk about this, don't act like Khalif Wins got his stuff together. My show's been running for about a few months on different platforms. I'm learning too, but I keep consistently posting the show because it's an experiment that I learned from. So don't get it twisted. Next step on how to be consistent: stay organized. Keep track of your progress, make adjustments as needed, and use a planner or app that help you stay organized and on track. Again, another slide that sounds simple, like something that somebody can look up. But again, I am in my reprogramming, cognitive reconditioning mindset, so that because I need a different set of goals, and then I need to take simple strategies to get to those places. Again, when I'm telling you guys this and I'm sharing you guys this information, do you know that I'm actively going through this process as I'm speaking? All my morning motivation shows about things I go through, things my friends go through, us creating strategies to get better so we can get to where we want to get at life. This is literally for everybody here watching. We have to stay organized, and the best way to do is to keep track of our progress and adjustments as needed. For instance, my wife put me on the apps, productivity apps. I don't know if you guys got put onto it, but if you have some great suggestions of productivity apps, please put in the comments. But for those who don't know, productivity apps are like tracking apps. She has an app for her cycle, tells her it's a tracking app and things of that nature. She uses apps such as Notion, Asana, some people use Kajabi or different organizational apps that gives them notifications and tell them their to-do list on their tasks that keep them organized to accomplish their goals. Before I discovered productivity apps, I used to be like everybody else. I'm gonna write this goal down on a piece of paper, and I'm gonna put the Post-it pad on my wall, and that's gonna be no. I need something in my phone, you know what I'm saying, to keep me on task, to be consistent for my goals. And the best way to stay organized, go to your app store, whether it's a Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and find productivity apps. I will spell it out. Productivity apps. I'm not going to spell it out. I'm just going to say it slow because I might mess up the spelling, and this is recorded. I don't want to look crazy. Let me give you some suggestions. Silver Days Music, I really like Notion and To Do. So everybody look up these productivity apps. Thank you, Silver Days, for putting that there. Productivity apps help me. Big shout out to my wife for putting me on. Big shout out to Silver Days for giving an idea. Apps like Notion is great. Notion, Notion. It helps me stay on task. Like, for instance, when I start getting back into my production wave, and again, that's part of my changing my adjustment. When my son is born, I'm full blown going into music production. Why? Because it requires headphones and it doesn't make noise. And my newborn is going to sleep, and I'm not going to be live streaming as much, but I will be live streaming. You can check me out on my independent live streams by joining my email list, link in bio. Join my email list. You will have a private live stream throughout the week. But I can't be like loud in the morning with a newborn, right? So I'm going into full production. So I'm going to be using Notion to keep me on task. What are my production goals? How do I set up a routine in a day? How can it give reminders? Break reminders, work optimal work reminders. Since I'm going to be in a production grind doing my thing with production, meaning if anybody doesn't know, making beats, sync licensing, beat lease, whatever for my other business, because I have 3 other businesses, Notion is going to keep me up to date with my notifications, my reminders. And then the cool part about apps like Notion, Monday.com is a good app. Some people use Slack. It shows me my progress on a daily basis, and it shows me my progress on a weekly basis, and it shows the overall assessment. And then the cool part about these productivity apps when it comes to staying organized and being consistent, a lot of times we get down on ourselves and other people in our life are like, yeah, you're doing a lot of work. I like to see all the work that I did posted and there because it encouraged me on paper or digitally as to me knocking things out. For instance, this morning motivation show, I've been quite consistent. Every time I feel down, like, oh my God, this is where I don't want to be. I want to go to this level. I'm right here and I'm uncomfortable with my level. I go to my YouTube page, not for comments, not for likes, not for views. It shows me this is how many shows you drop. That's for me. But if you want to really step up your game and being consistent, please use Planner or most definitely apps to help you stay organized on task and to keep you encouraging your progress. That's this slide, most definitely. So to stay organized, keep track of your progress and make adjustments as needed because we're going to have to flip it up. Remember this, do it again and again. Consistency makes the raindrops even to create holes in a rock. Whatever is difficult can be done easily with regular attendance. Whoa! Whatever is difficult can be done easily with regular attendance, attention, and action. The reason that people, a lot of times, not even say people, let's just talk about me. I'm going to point the finger here. The reason that all of us really look past simplistic strategies and say we've done this before, we have to go back to the simple things so we can go to a different place. Old keys don't open new doors. Old habits don't open new opportunities. Listen to what this quote is from, what is it? Israel Ayavor. I'm butchering that name. Do it again and again. Consistency makes the raindrops to create holes in a rock consistently. But here's the bar. Whatever is difficult can be done easily with regular attendance, attention, and action. Think about that. We have big goals. Remember how it was in the beginning of January? Oh my God, new year, new me. Oh my God, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. And then what happens around February? Back to old habits. Listen to that. Whatever is difficult can be done easily with regular attendance, attention, and action. Now, we just talked about making a plan, writing down our goals previously in those slides and things of that nature. What can we give regular daily attendance, attention, and action to be consistent? Real important. I want you to take a break right now as I'm talking to you. And I'm going to talk to you in my down the hallway DJ Clue voice. Think about it. Close your eyes. If you're driving, open your eyes, but you know what I mean. Think about what you really want to be consistent in. Think about it. For my producers out there, some producer like, yo, I just want to make like 100 beats and I just want to make a living with beats. Great. That's a realistic goal because people are actually doing it. To my DJ homeboys, hey, I want to get a DJ residency at a club, at a spot, at a location. Great. That's a realistic goal because people are doing that. Great. I want to start a business. I hate my job and I think it truly sucks and I want to mirror my exact payment monthly or more with my small businesses. Those things are all achievable. All of them. And how do I know they're achievable? Because people have done it and they're doing it right now. They're living the life that we desire. How can we be consistent? Listen to the last line of this. Whatever is difficult can be done easily with regular attendance, attention, and action. Ask yourself, you know your schedule. You know what you do in the morning. You know what you do in your life. What can you show up for every day and give regular attendance, attention, and put action towards? You are the only person, people that's watching this, you are the only person that knows the answer to that. But the crux of that argument is we have to find ways to stay motivated and keep ourselves accountable. Working with a coach is an option, or setting up a reward system for achieving milestones. Don't laugh at me. Here's a reward system. When I make sales off of either my SoundPack store or when I have like a consistent week of social media strategy clients, and for instance, for those who don't know, I create social media strategies for brands and small businesses so they can attract more and drive more traffic to their brand. If you need assistance like that, please hit my link in bio and book a schedule. If I have a great week, here's my reward system. Don't laugh at me. And this sounds so black because I'm so black. I order a huge vat of like 20 crab legs. That's my reward system. When I have a good fiscal financial week, I'm going to this place in Brooklyn, and y'all should check it out. It's called Porter Platter Fire Seafood. Plug. Please sponsor me, people. They have fire salmon and a crab leg, like a big Thanksgiving metal pan of crab legs. They have like 20 crab legs with Old Bay. That's my reward system. When I have a great sales week, I'm like, crab legs. So for that next week to help me motivate it, I'm going to knock this out because I'm about to get that crab leg platter. You may have something different. That's me. If I reward myself after achieving goals, I'm buying a big like $200 pan of crab legs. I'm different. I'm bougie. Let's see what the comments are saying. Civil Days. I was going to say promote your business. Great. Yeah. Promote your business for sure. Yes, I am. Again, I'm a social media strategist. What does that mean in English? I'm not a guru. I'm a person that you can talk to and hear about your brand and create a content post strategy to attract new clients. That's what I do well. If you need that type of business, please go to my link in bio and book a session. Also, Silver Days Music, he has a great producer with a great YouTube page, and everybody, DPD Collection that I have right now, you can go to DPD Collection, look it up on TikTok, and then you can get some things regarding your clothing and your brand and have a great fit like I got a great fit. But seriously, find ways to keep yourself motivated and keep yourself accountable. I also work with a coach. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me at all. I work with coaches. If I handle my mental health with a therapist, a trained professional, then when it comes to mental peak performance areas, I have particular coaches in my life so they can unravel the knots in my business performance. I got coaches. Football players got coaches. Y'all don't hate on that. Basketball players got coaches. Y'all don't hate on that. UFC people, fighters, they have coaches. Why can't people who are really trying to be successful have success coaches? That's an investment that's worth it to me. Hold on. Eric says, man, I love me some crab legs. I shouldn't have said it this morning because I would eat crab legs and a lobster roll for breakfast. No problem. Like, I would eat it. That's my reward system. And then when we keep ourselves motivated with the reward system, I try to make as much sales, especially on my beat store, a sound design store, or with my social media clients. I try to work really hard every week because that's my mini reward system. Another mini reward system I have for myself that keeps me motivated to keep grinding. And again, you have your rewards. Write down the rewards you want. I like to take my daughter on like a mini Target shopping spree in the toy section. That makes me happy. Seeing her, yeah, babe, get every toy you want. Don't OD. Get every toy you want. Like, really? That's my reward system. You have a reward system for your goals and what you're trying to do. What's your reward system? That's something I want you guys to think about. Listen to this. People like consistency, whether it's a store or a restaurant. They want to come in and see what you're famous for. Miller Drexler. Think about that. All the business owners watching this, or all the DJs, performers, artists, or producers, or anybody that sells a product. Our brand is contingent on people seeing that we're serious about our product, passionate about our product, and that seriousness and passion can only come from our consistency. And this is why this quote is true. I'll read it again. People like consistency, whether it's a store or a restaurant. They want to come in and see what you're famous for. Let's use everybody in my chat comments. Civil Days Music. Anybody in the hip hop producer community, especially when it comes to machine producers or MPC producers or people that use that, they know him from YouTube. Why? Because he has a consistent track record, a consistency of videos, a consistency of themes that's only getting better. And people know exactly what they're going to get value from his brand. Let's take Infinite Talks podcast with Eric Castillo. People, when they go to his Spotify channel, they'll see him with the dope picture on the stoop. That's a fire picture, Eric. But they'll see the consistency in his interviews. Then they'll go to his YouTube channel. They'll see the consistency. And then what does the quote says? Whether it's a store or a restaurant, they want to come in and see what you're famous for. Here's a great reason to be consistent in your goals, especially if you have a business or a product or if you have a brand. The more work you put in, no problem, Civil Days. You know the vibes. The more work you put in it, you're not putting in work just for today. You're putting in work so that a year from now, when somebody refers a business to you, what do people say? When somebody refers a business to you, what's the first thing that we all say? Oh, word, let me see their YouTube and their social media. Why? Because it's our resume. I repeat, when you buy a product or your friend refers you a service to somebody that they know, what do we all say? Yo, let me see their YouTube. What's their social media look like? When it comes to my YouTube, the More Than Motivation Show, the More Than Motivation Show, the More Than Motivation Show, Making Better Track shows, videos. So if I'm telling people, hey, I'm great at content strategy, if my own personal profiles don't reflect what I'm selling, then people are not going to show up. And that's the quote. People like consistency, whether it's a store or a restaurant, they want to come in and see what you're famous for. Now, this is an important step, and I wrote down in the bottom, I had to fix this up this morning. I was like, why isn't this normalized? Visualizing success. You have to visualize yourself achieving the goals that you want. If you want it, you got to see it to make it happen. I don't understand why they don't teach this in schools a lot, starting from first grade and on. I don't understand. You know, you got to give a big shout out to the bro. DPD Collection. DPD link in bio to all social media platforms. Great job, bro. Thank you. Yes, I'm rocking that DPD design straight out of Chicago, Illinois. It's more than a hat. You can get a hat anywhere. This is an experience. You know the vibes. You know, let me shout out my friends right now. Infinite Talks podcast, Eric Castillo. Go to Spotify, follow it, share it if you want that good frequency. You got the right frequency and vibe. Civil Days Music TV. He has a great show for my music producers, MPC users, machine users of the software. Great form and information like that. Got the homie Melly, the specialist over here. He does great things and great business. And when he decides the specific lane that he wants to go into, he is awesome. He is a great, encouraging soul. Follow him on Facebook and all platforms. Yeah, you got to pick up your friends. But think about this. What in your life that you saw in your mind and focused on so much that you made it happen and it was easier? This is the best way to practice visualization. I don't like the way other people talk about visualization because they make it sound so deep and esoteric. It's real simple. Sometimes you got to sit on your couch. You got to close your eyes and chill. And then you got to say, how do I want this outcome to look? We have to make a movie in our head of our desired result. Now, again, people have heard this before. People say this all the time on the internet. They try to sound deep. I'll make it real simple. Every time I want to buy a drum machine, again, don't laugh. I'm a producer and I have a side bit, 2 businesses from production. I sit down and I picture, okay, this is what the pads feel like. This is how the knobs feel like. Pause for ridiculous people out there. This is how it feels like creating music on it. Anytime I want to go somewhere, I picture. And for New York and New Jersey folk and Philly folk, we got a place around here called Great Adventure. before when the summer drops, you say, oh, I can't wait to go to Great Adventure. Man, I want to get that Zeppelin, man. I want to get them churros. Oh, I can't wait to go on a free fall. I can't wait to go on this ride. We put our mind where we want to be before we're there. But when it comes to our goals, we don't take the same type of effort. We have to give ourselves the same type of energy. And this is something that I had to reprogram myself when it came to being consistent. Am I visualizing is taking time to get into that training room of sitting down? And I do this. I do this in the morning when I wake up. I do this before I go to sleep. I give myself 15 minutes when I wake up, 15 minutes before I go to sleep. And then in little pockets throughout the day, I take 5-minute moments because they accumulate. And I visualize the outcome that I want. This whole show, my background, how things look, it all came for a lot of prayer, don't get it twisted, and visualization. I had to literally visualize myself doing what I'm currently doing now. So everybody that's watching this, in terms of being consistent, if you keep what you want in the front of your mind and you run that movie tape or you play that Netflix playlist of your dreams in your minds of what you want, experience it, feel it, be in the spot, do it. Do that. I'm telling you, you will achieve any goal consistently and faster. Why? Because that's one of the cheat codes of being consistent. Picture yourself doing it and living in what you want. Again, this ain't the secret. This ain't motivational fluff, and I'll prove it right now. All right, fellas, I'm talking to the men out there. You ever want to holler at a fine girl, right? Fine. And it doesn't have to be this one specific young lady. It can be like, yo, I want a girl that's like A, B, and C mentally. She got a heart right. She got a mind right. Got a business right. You take time and visualize the outcome. Visualize it. And when women this is for fellas, when women that you encounter don't match the success that you visualize, then you move on and then you find and you attract what you want. Whatever we put our brain on, we attract it. Second example, any DJs out there, male and female, y'all know what I'm talking about when it comes to visualization. DJs and people that do music, musicians, producers, we practice visualization and don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? For instance, I want to DJ a fire party. What do? We close our eyes and picture ourselves behind our gear, turntables or controllers or CDJs. We picture the crowd. We close our eyes and picture what that transition feels like. Musicians, we picture the stage. We practice, but we're visualizing the moments that we want to create. So when it comes to our success, why aren't we using the same practice and passion? Again, that's why today's show is about why am I not consistent? These are tips that I had to reprogram myself to get it simple so I can get to my point of consistency. And that's what I'm sharing here right now. So please visualize yourself achieving the goals that you want. And here's the thing, take time to be deliberate, but when the time for action arrives, stop thinking and go in. Andrew Jackson said that. Yo, when you know what you want and it's clear as day and it's that time to take action, time for some action. When it's that time to take action, yo, go in. What was the earlier quote that I put earlier? Life is imperfect. We can't predict life. Life is an experiment. So when it's time for you to take action, for me, I go all in, mistakes and all. Oh, Khalif, you shouldn't have did it that way. Like I had this troll come on a video yesterday. Oh, you shouldn't do air horns. That's not good. This is my spot. I can do what I want, but life is an experiment. I'll get better with time, but my better ain't your better. We ain't talking about the troll. Listen, I love the trolls. They're good ammunition for content. Preach. But think about it. Take time to be deliberate. But when the time for action arrives, stop thinking and go in. That means we overthink ourselves out of the opportunity. We overthink ourselves out of things that are right in front of our face. I said to myself before I created this show, and I'm doing other content shows, and I got a show dropping at 11 a.m. this morning, Making Better Tracks. Hey, with Civil Days Music and DC Carson. Move forward. Before I did all those shows, I was like, I need a $2,000 DSLR camera. I need a super strong laptop. No, I got my cell phone. I got right on my cell phone. Let's go. Because when the time for action arises, we have to just stop overthinking and go in and just do it and learn from that process. And that's something I want everybody to really, really focus on. This last area, last but not least, surround yourself with goal getters. Keep a weekly progress tracker of your goals and switch it up bi-weekly to create muscle confusion. Let's start with the bottom. I'll go up. What is muscle confusion? For anybody that works out here, I used to do martial arts. Muscle confusion is if you do the same workout all the time, you're going to get the same physical results. And in order to step up I'll talk about martial arts. In order to step up, you have to try new things and confuse your body's muscles, and then it helps you get stronger, helps you get better, increase your reflex time. When it comes to our goals and being consistent, we can follow our routine, but we got to just switch it up a lot so we can improve in areas better than most. That's also, like I said earlier in the conversation, we got to keep a weekly progress tracker of our goals and what we're trying to do. And then last but not least, surround yourself with other people who are doing either what you're trying to do or going for goals in their field, because success rubs off the same way laziness rubs off. So surround yourself with goal getters. And before the show is out, I'm going to rerun what I ran in the beginning so we can all get these bars and just get this message reemphasized.
All these ideas and great things I want to do, and I have so much energy at the start, and I'll be the first one to get the ball rolling, but I just won't follow through. Make the goal just to show up. Like, you don't have to be amazing, you don't have to be great, just show up. Just stop aiming for perfection and aim for progress. Number 2, stop comparing yourself to other people. That guy in the gym, he's been training since he was 5. This guy's on day 5,000. You're on day 2.5. Like, there is no point in comparing him, who's a completely different individual to you, different circumstances, different background. It makes no sense. It's like comparing apples and tangerines. Tip number 3, and this is one that has always worked for me. I don't know why, but I am far less likely to let someone else down than I am to let myself down. Find someone if you can. Maybe it's a partner, maybe it's an accountability buddy, but someone that will hold you responsible for doing the thing that you said you were going to do. Even imagine this. Imagine a camera was following you around for 24 hours in a day. Imagine how differently you would act, because you wouldn't want people to think you aren't the person that you say you are, that you don't keep your word, and you don't keep your word to yourself.
You can define for yourself what consistency looks like. It doesn't need to be every day. It doesn't need to be every other day. Consistency for you in the beginning can be once a week. Once you've defined what consistency looks like for you, I want you to commit to it. Commit to it for a month, commit to it for 2 months, whatever. Once that has become a habit and you've done that for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever, it's time to redefine. Redefine what consistency looks like. So in the beginning, if you chose for consistency to be once a week, maybe change it to twice a week or 3 times a week. Redefine it. What you'll realize is you'll bounce between committing and redefining, and that's basically how you become consistent.
We don't stay consistent because we have anxiety over not being able to stay consistent. So literally what is stopping us from being consistent is the fact that we fear a future of not being consistent.
You stay consistent in bettering your life by realizing what your why is. Why do you do it? Why are you really doing this? Why am I on this hunt to figure out who I am? By you answering that question, this will be the fuel on your journey to determine whether or not you will stay disciplined to continue to better understand yourself. So no matter how hard it gets, no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how painful it is, when I start to peel back the layers of the traumas in my life, I have to remind myself why I'm doing it. And this is it. So making sure you know why you are doing something will determine how disciplined you'll be.
Hey, that's the show today. If you love the Morning Motivation Show, please share it to a friend. Let the friends know, you know what I'm saying? If you like this track, this is a track that I produce. I'm getting back into the production game. If you want to support my show, please hit me up on Cash App, $Khalif Wins, or go to my link in bio and support my channel. The Morning Motivation Show happens every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. If you need a quick pick-me-up in the morning, please come to my show and just get that quick pick-me-up. But if somebody needs what I'm sharing in the show, share it to somebody that needs it. Life is too short. Thank you, everybody that shows up. Big shout-out to the homie Civil Days Music. Big shout-out to DPD Collection. Big shout-out to Melly the Specialist. Big shout out to Eric Castillo from Infinite Talks Podcast. Follow them all. Thank you for being here this morning. But it's time for all of us to get consistent in what we like in our life, what we like in our life. We ain't perfect. Let's do it. Let's have a great time. Please support my channel. I'm trying to get a new camera, new laptop, new setup. And please hit my link in bio if you want to support my baby registry. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day. Peace.